2 minutes left. Archangel Michael is holding your $1 million blessing, but you keep ignoring the signs. Open before it's redirected. The Spirit has begun its countdown. And it is not vague, nor is it metaphorical. There are exactly 2 minutes left in the divine window where heaven is reaching for earth, where the heavens are stretching out a scroll that bears your name, sealed with purpose and dripping in provision. This moment is not ordinary. This is not just another message. This is a spiritual dispatch, a divine notice, delivered by the hand of Archangel Michael himself, bearing something that most will never touch, $1 million-sized blessing. And yet it hovers, suspended, awaiting acknowledgement. But hear this now, with sacred urgency. You are running out of time. Not earthly time, but heaven's timing. The sands in the spiritual hourglass are nearly gone. And what was custom-made for you, what carries the fragrance of your prayers, your sacrifices, your quiet weeping in the midnight hour, is at risk of being redirected. The laws of heaven are not ruled by pity but by perception. Those who see the signs, who move when heaven moves, who obey when God whispers, they are the ones who receive. Archangel Michael does not travel with common blessings. When he is dispatched, it is because something of great weight, great value, great inheritance must be delivered. But not to the passive, not to the distracted, not to the doubting. This message is not for everyone. It is for the sensitive, the awake, the obedient. It is for those who feel the shift before it shows, for those who sense the storm before it breaks. This blessing, this $1 million move of heaven, is not just about money. It is about destiny, about proof, about prophetic fulfillment. And yet, hesitation is the silent thief. Ignoring the signs is the unseen robber. What was once sealed for you can be handed to another. Heaven does not chase, it invites. The Spirit doesn't beg, it moves. And when it moves, you must move with it or miss what was meant for your life. This is a divine test of stillness, of silence, of spiritual awareness. If you've been restless, it's not anxiety, it's alignment. If you felt like something was coming but couldn't name it, this is it. The timing is intentional. You are not randomly here. This message finds you in the final 2 minutes of the Spirit's countdown. Heaven has waited long enough. Type "I will not miss IT" in the comments if this word is for you. Blessing code 777 is now unlocking. Before the clock strikes, before the divine portal closes, before your name is passed into the hands of another, hear the voice of urgency rising through the veil. Archangel Michael stands, sword drawn, not in war this time, but in delivery. The scroll in his hand is heavy, weighted not with ink but with inheritance, with wealth marked for your lineage, with answers to prayers you no longer speak aloud. He holds it out, but only for a moment. And the moment is now. This is not the time for doubt. This is not the hour for delay. This is the season of sudden obedience, of sacred awareness. For only those tuned into the pulse of heaven can hear this. The blessing is in transit. The delivery is active, and heaven is checking for receivers. If you feel the stir in your spirit, if your ears are tingling and your chest feels heavy with unexplainable urgency, it is not emotion, it is confirmation. This word has found its target. This word has pierced through the noise of the day to land in the center of your soul. The countdown in the spirit is nearing 0, and this is your final notice to open. Open your awareness. Open your obedience. Open your hands before the blessing is redirected. Archangel Michael, the Prince of Heavenly Hosts, is not dispatched for trivial matters. He moves when wealth tied to warfare must be delivered. He shows up when the next level cannot be unlocked by flesh alone. The blessing he carries is not paper. It is prophetic transfer, and it has your DNA in its fibers. But Michael is not authorized to wait. He is not permitted to tarry for the hesitant. He has been given a window, a divine margin of mercy, and once that closes, so too does the assignment. You have moments, not months. Can you feel it? The signs have been flashing. Random thoughts you shrugged off. Conversations that felt like déjà vu. Delays that made no sense. Distractions that hit at just the right moment to derail you. These were not coincidences. They were interruptions sent to intercept what heaven is trying to release. Some of you have asked, God, where is my breakthrough? Where is my answer? And the Lord says, I sent it. But you were too distracted to open the door. This message is not for everyone. Many will scroll past. Many will say, this isn't for me. And they're right. Because heaven knows who is ready. Heaven knows whose spirit is vibrating right now. If you're weeping and you don't know why, if your chest feels heavy and your eyes are locked to the screen, this word has pierced the barrier between heaven and earth for you. You are the one Michael has been circling. You are the one he waits to deliver to. But only for a moment more. You've asked for financial breakthrough. But what's coming is more than money. It's the assignment attached to abundance. It's divine influence. Legacy doors. Restitution in both the natural and the spirit. But if you do not acknowledge it, if you do not respond, it can pass you by and settle into the hands of another who was listening when you were sleeping. God will not force-feed destiny. He offers. He invites. He speaks and waits for those who respond. Silence, sensitivity, and swift obedience are the currency of this hour. If you've ignored the signs before, hear this one loud and clear. There are 2 minutes left in the spirit. And heaven is looking for a responder. Type I hear you, heaven in the comments if this is your moment. Blessing code 1414 is being dispatched over your house. You've wondered why the last few weeks have felt strange. Why time feels slower but your thoughts are faster. Why your schedule has been cluttered with inconveniences. Why people you trusted suddenly grew silent, or why unexpected delays keep throwing off your momentum. This is not normal warfare. This is not daily chaos. This is disruption at the edge of destiny. And it is calculated. The moment your name was whispered in heaven's court, the air around your life shifted. The second your blessing entered delivery status, the opposition became activated. Do you think your delay was circumstantial? Do you think your confusion just happened to show up now? No, beloved. The enemy heard movement in the spirit before you ever saw it in the natural. And what he cannot destroy, he tries to distract. Your blessing is too heavy to go unnoticed in the realm of darkness. Archangel Michael isn't just carrying money. He's carrying your spiritual promotion. And hell has picked up the scent. That's why you felt pressure but couldn't locate its source. That's why people have been pulling away, not knowing why. That's why old temptations reappeared, familiar spirits seeking access to sabotage your focus. The opposition is not random. It's response warfare. Something shifted over your life, and everything around you is reacting to it. People around you sense it too. They may not say it. They may not understand it. But they've noticed something is different. Your silence. Your glow. Your strange stillness. The way you've pulled back. The way you've started preparing like you're expecting something because you are. You know deep down something massive is near. And yet, the part of you is unsettled. Because while blessing is approaching, so is betrayal. Not everyone who clapped for you is clean. Some celebrated your prayers, but never imagined they would manifest. Some stood with you in your lack, but their hearts will turn in your abundance. The disruption is not just external, it's emotional. Because God is exposing every hand that cannot handle the weight of your next season. And now, you feel torn. A deep unrest is brewing inside of you. You are sensing something sacred and something sinister simultaneously. It's as if heaven and hell are leaning over your life at once, one to deliver, one to distract. You feel pulled between focus and fatigue, between boldness and backing down. And that's not by accident, it's by design. Because the enemy can't stop the blessing, but he hopes you'll forfeit it through confusion. Let this be your confirmation. The mystery you feel, the disruptions you're facing, the pressure you can't explain. It's proof the blessing is real. The warfare is strategic because what's coming is substantial. The enemy wouldn't be sending this much interference if the scroll Michael carries was light. But it is not light. It is legacy. It is not symbolic. It is specific. And it bears your name. So now I ask you, who is watching you quietly? Who seems too interested in your next move? Who has pulled back their support the closer you get to breakthrough? Who smiles but also sighs when you speak of what's coming? Don't ignore these subtle signs. The Spirit is showing you what can't come with you. And in this moment, you must anchor yourself. You must resist the emotional spiral. The blessing is within reach, but you must not abort it through distraction, doubt, or delay. Heaven is closer than it has ever been. Archangel Michael stands, still waiting, still holding, but not for long. Something is shifting. Either you step into it, or you let it pass you by. This is your awakening. This is your alert. The mystery around your life is the atmosphere of manifestation. and what looks like chaos is actually confirmation. Type "I will not be distracted" in the comments if this word is yours. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding your household. When heaven releases a word this heavy, it's not just for your ears, it's for souls around the world. Every time you support this mission, through super thanks, membership, or giving via PayPal, you're not donating to a channel, you're sowing into prophetic awakening. The Lord says in Isaiah 55:11, "My word will not return void, but it will accomplish what I sent it to do." When you give, you are the river He flows through. You are the light that carries this message further into homes, prisons, phones, and hearts crying for direction. I heard the Spirit say, "If this word reached you, then I chose you to carry it forward." Giving right now is not financial, it is prophetic participation. Your seed releases oil over someone else's storm. I declare every gift sown today will multiply with heavenly speed, 30, 60, 100-fold returns tied to divine alignment. Click Super Thanks, join membership, or give through PayPal in the description below. This is a prophetic moment, not a pause. ACT and faith. Release what is in your hand, and heaven will release what is in His. You've been asking the wrong question. Not "Why is this happening to me?" but "What in me is so valuable that hell would assign warfare to stop it?" The conflict you're facing is not a reflection of weakness. It's confirmation of worth. And the Spirit of the Lord is revealing now, you are under attack because you are chosen. From the beginning of your journey, there was a divine mark upon you, a spiritual seal stamped into your identity. Heaven knew your name before the first breath ever passed your lips. You were not just called, you were selected. And with every elevation, every layer of revelation, every deeper level of surrender, the forces of darkness took notice. Your pain was never random. Your setbacks were never senseless. They were assignments issued in response to your anointing. Archangel Michael, the chief prince of angelic warfare, does not descend unless a divine assignment is at risk. He does not draw his flaming sword unless a chosen vessel is standing in the threshold of breakthrough. His very presence means you're not just important, you're dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Your breakthrough threatens cycle. Your wealth will fund deliverance. Your testimony will shake bloodlines. You carry what the enemy has spent years trying to abort. Understand this now. The opposition is the greatest evidence of your assignment. If you had nothing in your future, there'd be nothing chasing you in your present. The enemy is not attacking your now. He's terrified of your next. He knows something you don't, that this very blessing, this very scroll Michael holds, carries the blueprint to unlock a legacy that silences generational curses. And if you ever step into that, hell loses ground. But here's where many fail. Here's where many forfeit their divine portion, in the silence, in the stillness, in the in-between moments when heaven goes quiet to see what you'll choose. Will you panic? Will you reach back to old patterns? Will you sabotage what's coming because you can't see it yet? You must know this. Heaven watches every decision in this testing period. This silence is not rejection, It is a review. It is a divine surveillance of your posture. Will you still obey when the sky is silent? Will you still worship when the doors feel shut? Will you trust that Michael stands on your behalf even when you can't hear the flutter of his wings? This is not the time to react with fear. It is the hour to respond with alignment. Heaven does not operate on emotion. It responds to faith and obedience. You're being watched in the spirit, and your posture will either preserve your blessing or postpone it. Because listen, the scroll with your name on it can be redirected if mishandled. The delivery has a deadline, and the enemy is banking on your impatience. So now, let's reframe what you've been feeling. That pressure. It's the press of elevation. That silence. It's the stillness before divine release. That conflict. It's spiritual proof that you're not average. That warfare. It's because you're carrying something that can't be replaced. Even now, heaven is measuring your response. Will you retreat or will you rise? Will you crumble under pressure, or will you remember that the blessing Michael holds is only given to those strong enough to walk in it? And do not forget, Michael is not fighting alone. Heaven's army had been assigned to your cause. You are not abandoned. You are observed. You are not cursed. You are consecrated. And while others envy your potential, they have no idea of the battles you fought in secret. But God knows. And God rewards. And this moment, is your turning point. Your tears were counted. Your obedience noted. Your surrender recorded. And now the test is simple. Will you stand still long enough for heaven to deliver what it sealed for you? This is not just about survival. It's about succession. You're not fighting for now. You're standing for generations. You're not pressing through for comfort. You're holding the line for kingdom advancement. Type "I will not bow to fear" in the comments. Blessing code 888 is activating spiritual boldness over you now. There are moments when heaven waits. Moments when God extends mercy, silence, even delay, to see if your spirit will align with the instruction. But the waiting is not eternal. There comes a cutoff. There comes a shift. There comes a point when heaven must act, with or without your participation. And beloved, that moment is upon you. Hear me. Within the next 72 hours, a spiritual decision will be made. Something will move in the spirit, whether toward you or away from you. What Archangel Michael is holding hath been hovering like the Spirit hovered over the face of the deep in Genesis 1. Hovering like destiny waiting for obedience. Heaven and not forever. The command is coming. The dispatch is on hold. And unless you move into full alignment, the scroll will be passed to another whose obedience created vacancy for your forfeiture. This is not fear. This is divine warning. The kind of holy alert that shakes the lukewarm out of slumber and wakes the slumbering warrior. The kind of word that divides the passive from the prophetic. Because this $1 million blessing is not just wealth. It is a divine assignment, wrapped in responsibility. And if you cannot perceive it, you cannot receive it. Right now, adversaries are moving. Spirits of confusion are being sent. Distractions are multiplying. Old temptations are being reintroduced. Counterfeits are knocking again. Do you think that's by accident? Oh, beloved, it is timed. The closer your blessing comes, the louder the distractions grow. The enemy cannot stop what heaven has sealed, but he can convince you to sabotage it. Your indecision is dangerous. Your hesitation is expensive. Your doubt is a doorway the enemy uses to delay you. Every time you say, maybe tomorrow, a spiritual door closes behind you. Every time you ignore the signs, the scroll gets lighter, preparing to lift and shift. Heaven is not cruel, heaven is just, and it only invests in vessels who are ready. So hear this, the countdown is no longer in months or weeks, it's in hours. You do not have time to pray about what God already confirmed. You do not have room to debate what's been stirring in your spirit for weeks. You've seen the signs. You heard the word. You've received the nudges. This is not new, it's now. And if you let this moment pass, you will know it. You will feel the absence. You will sense the scroll redirecting. There are people watching you right now who don't even realize they're being used. They're keeping you distracted, feeding your fear, stirring your flesh, clouding your clarity. They have no idea that their presence in your life is delaying your delivery. But the Spirit is revealing it now, because your window is closing. And let this settle deep in your spirit. There is something greater than money hidden inside this blessing. It looks like wealth, but it carries wisdom, access, authority, and legacy. It carries deliverance for people tied to your name. It carries instruction that will rebuild families, restore bloodlines, and release provision for generations unborn. You cannot afford to miss it. Don't let doubt do what demons couldn't. Don't let hesitation rob what hell couldn't touch. Don't let the clock run out because your ears were tuned to fear and not to faith. Heaven is holding its breath. The angels are at attention. Michael still stands, scroll in hand. But he is not still for long. In 72 hours, the scroll moves, either into your hands or out of your reach. Type "I refuse to miss my window" in the comments if this word has shaken your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is tracking your obedience now. You fought long. You've warred in silence. You've pushed through confusion, betrayal, exhaustion, and still you stood. But now, the Spirit whispers something different. Something uncommon. Something that contradicts your instincts. Be still. Not because the battle is over, but because heaven has taken the front line. You've done what you could in your strength. You've spoken, you've prayed, you've fasted. But now, you must shift from striving to stillness. Because heaven only moves when you do not. There is a moment in every spiritual war where God says, "Enough. Stand down." And that moment has come. The danger now is not what attacks you, it's what distracts you. The enemy has seen your strength. He's witnessed your endurance. He knows he can't overpower you, so he tries to engage you. He sends familiar spirits, reopens old wounds, invites you into conversations that pull you back into cycles. But this time, your greatest act of warfare is refusing to respond. Archangel Michael doesn't need your effort. He needs your alignment. The blessing he carries is not delivered into busyness, chaos, or emotional frenzy. It is only released into stillness, into peace, into order. Heaven's system is not built on urgency. It's built on obedience. And obedience in this hour sounds like this: sit down. Be silent. Do not touch what God has already commanded his angels to finish. The blessing, your $1 million breakthrough, is not being delayed because of demonic resistance anymore. That phase is over. What is being evaluated now is your posture, your discernment, your ability to hear the whisper when the noise is loud. The enemy is betting you'll step out of position, that you'll panic, that you will move ahead of God. But if you stay still, if you stay low, if you stay quiet, heaven will handle it all. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to answer texts that were sent to bait your soul. Your silence is not weakness. It is warfare. It is spiritual maturity. It is divine confidence. It is the ultimate signal to heaven that you trust him enough not to touch what he's already handling. Hear this clearly. No hand can steal what heaven sealed. What has your name on it will not fit in someone else's house. What has been prepared for your spirit cannot be stolen by someone else's striving. Archangel Michael does not fail. He does not misplace. But he also does not deliver into chaos. You may feel exposed. You may feel vulnerable. You may feel like nothing is happening. But in the spirit, everything is happening. While you are silent, the angels are in negotiation. While you are still, heaven is establishing. While you wait, Michael is warring. You are not invisible, you are insulated. You are not overlooked, you are under divine watch. God is not late. He is synchronizing your destiny with the clock of eternity. You are in a moment where one wrong move could delay everything. That is why he is whispering, be still. Rest doesn't mean retreat. Stillness doesn't mean surrender. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you understand the difference between fleshly activity and divine strategy. It means you understand what's on the line. It means you finally come into agreement with the pace of heaven. So right now, stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop overthinking. Go silent in the presence of man, and go deep in the presence of God. Say less, and pray more. Speak to no one, but listen to the Spirit. Every battle you're tempted to fight right now is bait. And it's only meant to knock you out of place before the blessing lands. But if you stay still, if you stay hidden, if you stay surrendered, what Archangel Michael carries will fall directly into your hands. Not delayed, not diminished, but in full, as heaven intended. Type "I choose stillness" in the comments if this is your instruction. Blessing code 3030 now surrounds your silence with divine shields. You've been underestimated. Misread. Dismiss. Looked at through the lens of your past instead of the prophecy you carry. People still think you're operating in the old version of yourself, the one who tolerated too much, trusted too fast, cried too quietly, gave too freely. But the Spirit of the Lord says today, you are not who they think you are anymore. What you walked through has refined you. What broke your heart also built your discernment. The nights you wept alone weren't wasted. They became the fire that forged a new version of you. You're no longer a prisoner of your past. You're no longer the beggar at the gate of your own breakthrough. You are rising, like fire from the ashes, like oil from the press, like gold from the furnace. This shift isn't just emotional, it's prophetic. The oil that's coming upon your life now is not cheap. It is born of crushing. It is born of silence. It is born of betrayal. And now, your elevation has begun. Heaven is no longer just watching, heaven is responding. Michael's sword isn't just defending you, it's clearing a path. The Spirit isn't just whispering anymore, it's announcing your arrival. You are no longer hidden. You are no longer confused. You are no longer delayed. What was held up is now being released, because the version of you that is emerging is ready to steward the weight of what's coming. You don't just have potential, you carry prophetic permission. The delay was never punishment, it was protection. God was hiding you until you no longer needed validation to walk in victory. Until you no longer depended on applause to move forward. Until you stopped seeking confirmation and started walking in divine conviction. And now the blessing is responding to your readiness. That $1 million scroll that Michael has carried for months, maybe even years, is trembling in his hands. Heaven has authorized a release, but it cannot fall upon the weak version of you, the insecure version of you, the doubting version of you. No, this blessing belongs to the elevated you, the refined you, the anointed you. Stretch your wings, child of fire. Let the ashes fall. What you're entering is not luck, it's lineage. You're stepping into a realm you were born for, not begging for. You're moving into a spiritual inheritance that doesn't require performance, just presence. The old you prayed for this. The new you is prepared for it. You are the vessel now. The weight of the scroll will not break you, it will build you. You are not receiving this blessing to flaunt it, but to fund kingdom movements, to open doors for others, to establish legacy, to break generational cycles. This is not about lifestyle. This is about lifeline. God is putting wealth in your hands not to lift your name, but to lift the standard in your bloodline. And you must begin to declare, I am not who they remember. I am not who they whispered about. I am not the sum of their doubts. I am the one chosen. I am the one appointed. I am the one trusted with the treasure. Rise, prophet. Rise, builder. Rise, financier of freedom. What heaven is giving you is rare. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will support it. And that's fine, because this oil wasn't poured for the crowd. It was poured for the called. And you are called. Chosen. Chained you. Ready. You are not intimidated anymore. You are not afraid anymore. You are not stuck anymore. You are fire. You are oil. You are rising. Type "I am rising in power" in the comments if this word is shifting your identity. Blessing code 5050 is flowing through your elevation now. This moment is not random. This message is not ordinary. This revelation is not poetic fluff, it's prophetic fire. The scroll that Archangel Michael holds is not merely a promise of financial increase. It is a heavenly transaction loaded with legacy, access, promotion, and inheritance. This is not about a check in the mail. It is about a door in the spirit realm being unlocked that will shift your bloodline permanently. You prayed for money. You believed for provision. But heaven has always aimed higher than your immediate need. God was never preparing you just to pay bills. He was preparing you to build nations. And now the veil is lifting. Now the Spirit reveals the true depth of the $1 million blessing. It is not simply currency. It is confirmation that heaven has authorized your expansion. There is a reason the warfare intensified. There is a reason the timing feels so precise. This scroll is symbolic of more than material wealth. It holds access into hidden rooms. It contains codes to unlock assignments tied to your name. It is not transactional, it is transformational. This is a shifting scroll. A revelatory moment that pulls you out of cycles and sets your feet in kingdom territory. The Lord says, "Your name hath been spoken in the courts of heaven." You weren't overlooked. You weren't passed by. You were being announced. And when your name was released from the mouth of God, everything assigned to you began to align. Every dollar, every door, every opportunity, every divine relationship, every investor, every connector, every resource. The scroll Michael carries is more than an answer. It is your alignment in written form. You didn't miss it. You were never late. You were being readied. And now, the evidence of that preparation is coming to pass. This blessing marks a promotion in the spirit. It marks spiritual clearance into places you were once locked out of. It is the Lord saying, "Come up here. I have more to show you." It is the same voice that called Moses to the mountain. The same voice that whispered destiny to Joseph in a dream. The same voice that told Esther, "You've come to the kingdom for such a time as this." This moment is your such a time as this. Yes, the blessing includes money. But it's not limited to money. It's legacy wealth. It's healing flowing through financial overflow. It's vindication wrapped in increase. It's supernatural resources that come not just to bless you, but to build what hell tried to tear down. It's for the ministry in your belly. The vision you've written down but didn't have the means to fund. The idea that seemed too big to launch. the community you were called to reach, the family you were called to restore. It was delayed for a reason, not because God was unsure, but because the timing required alignment. Had it come sooner, you might have shared it with people who would have stolen it. You might have handed it to dream killers. You might have shrunk yourself to make it fit into the wrong circle. But now you are different. Now you understand it's not about showing off. It's about showing up. It's about showing up in power, in clarity, in alignment, in full obedience. You're not waiting on the world to validate you anymore. You have heaven's vote. And now the scroll is being released, and it will land where honor lives. If your spirit has been stirred during this message, it's because this is your moment of prophetic revelation. The cloud is shifting. The angel is descending. The blessing is not coming. It's here. Type "I receive the scroll" in the comments if this is your word. Blessing code 4114 is unlocking access to divine inheritance now. If this revelation ignited your spirit, then you are part of this divine assignment. Every time you sow into this message, whether through a super thanks, membership, or a direct PayPal seed, you are activating spiritual doors for others. This is not about funding a platform. It's about funding a move of God. Heaven is multiplying voices, and yours is one of them. When you give, it's not a transaction. It's a prophetic participation in the harvest of souls and divine alignment happening right now through this ministry. The word says in Luke 6:38, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." That's not poetry. That's prophecy. I felt the Spirit say, those who give into this word will see unexpected doors open, not in months, but in days. Your gift is a seed. Your giving is a weapon. Your faith is a key. Don't miss your moment. Support with super thanks, YouTube membership, or use the PayPal link in the description below. Step into the divine flow that's already moving, and let your seed speak for you. Give boldly. Activate legacy. Release what's in your hand, and watch heaven release what's in his. Now comes the moment of decision. Now comes the divine turning point. All of heaven stands still, and Archangel Michael holds the scroll inches from your spiritual grasp. And yet, it will not fall into your hands unless one thing happens. Your yes must be heard in the spirit. Not a passive yes, not a weak whispered yes, but a full-bodied, soul-shaking, destiny-aligning yes, the kind of yes that changes the atmosphere, the kind of yes that breaks delay and releases dispatch, the kind of yes that tells God, "I will obey you even if I don't understand it all." Your future is not waiting on a person. It's not waiting on a bank loan, a new job, or a lucky moment. Your future is waiting on you. Specifically, on your obedience. Because in the kingdom, obedience is the currency of release. Nothing moves in heaven until you move in alignment. And nothing activates destiny like a bold, unwavering yes, Lord. Listen to me clearly. You don't need to fight harder. You need to surrender deeper. You don't need more effort. You need more alignment. Heaven is not checking your bank account. Heaven is not checking your resume. Heaven is checking one thing only: your posture, your heart, your surrender, your yes. This blessing, this $1 million size scroll, is too heavy to fall on indecision. It cannot be delivered to the double-minded. James 1:6-7 says the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways and should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. That's not a threat, that's a spiritual law, and it must be respected. You cannot straddle purpose and comfort. You cannot flirt with obedience. You must decide, and you must decide now. Time is not on your side. There are only moments left in the Spirit's countdown. And if you do not say why yes with your words, with your decisions, with your actions, the scroll will move on. It will not be destroyed, but it will be reassigned, redirected. Heaven wastes nothing, and what is not received will be redistributed. The blessing you've prayed for, someone else is praying for it too. And if you let it pass, God will give it to the one who obeys without hesitation. Not the perfect one, not the popular one, but the obedient one. Is that you? This moment is not about goosebumps. It's about green lights. It's about spiritual activation. It's about giving God an unshakable yes in the middle of uncertainty. Can you say yes when you don't know the full plan? Can you say yes before you see the provision? Can you say yes even if others mock it, question it, or can't comprehend it? Your yes is more than a word. It is a contract in the Spirit. It grants heaven legal access to move on your behalf, to release what's been hovering, to deliver what's been sealed. This is the power of prophetic activation, not just hearing the word, but responding to it. And I prophesy this over you now. When your yes goes up, the scroll comes down. When your alignment locks in, the blessing releases. When your spirit says, I am ready, the angels deliver what was written in your book before you were even born. Heaven is not waiting on the right time. Heaven is waiting on the right response. So rise. Declare it. Speak it. Step into it. Say yes, and step forward. Step forward out of fear. Step forward into purpose. Step forward into the scroll that bears your name. Do not delay. Do not debate. This moment will not come again like this. Type yes, Lord. I receive my assignment in the comments if your obedience is now in position. Blessing code 6161 has opened your name in heaven's records. There are transactions that no human eye will ever see. There are divine negotiations that take place in silence, not in courts, but in the corridors of heaven. And right now, even as you read these words, there is an exchange occurring in the spirit realm on your behalf. It is quiet. It is weighty. It is holy. Archangel Michael stands at the center of it, not as a warrior with a raised sword, but as a courier holding something precious. A scroll, a contact, a sealed delivery with your name written in heaven's ink. The ink that does not fade. The ink that cannot be erased. The ink that dripped from the wounds of Calvary, covenant ink. While you were weeping, heaven was recording. While you were questioning, heaven was confirming. While you were sleeping, the angels continued negotiating. Not because you are weak, but because God has chosen to fight for you in silence. There are decisions being made above your head. Quiet approvals. Divine strategies. Breakthroughs being stamped with the word, release. The very thing you thought was delayed was, in truth, being perfectly timed. Because the exchange is not rushed, it is right. You must understand, this blessing is more than provision. It's preservation. It's not just about what you receive, it's about what God is protecting you from. If you had received it too soon, it would have crushed you. If it had come in the wrong season, it would have exposed you. If it had landed in the wrong environment, it would have been stolen. That is why the angel was instructed to wait, to hold the scroll until the exact moment of your readiness. And now, heaven leans forward. You can't see it yet, but you can feel it. That weight in your spirit. That sudden stillness in your day. That pressure in your chest. It's not anxiety, it's activation. It's your soul responding to what your mind hasn't fully grasped. You are standing in the tension of transaction. Something is moving from God's hand to yours. But not through noise, through agreement. This is the moment where your faith must become focus. You must understand that not all warfare is loud, and not all blessings are public. What's happening now is quiet, because sacred things are handled in silence. The birthing room is not a stadium. The throne room is not a circus. Heaven delivers heavy things in holy stillness. And yet, this silence is not absence, is activity. You are not being ignored. You are being investigated, inspected, measured for the weight of what's about to be placed in your hands. Can you hold it without breaking? Can you carry it without complaining? Can you keep moving without needing man's approval? Because what you're about to carry will confuse those who only remember the old you. It will intimidate those who thought you were finished. It will shift the atmosphere everywhere you go, not because of how loud you shout, but because of how authentic you move. This blessing is not showy. It's strategic. It will show up in contracts you didn't apply for, emails you didn't expect, favor that doesn't make sense, rooms you're not qualified for. It will be silent and sudden, because what was agreed upon in secret will manifest in powerful public confirmation. And don't think for a second that what you lost in the process was wasted. Every tear was data. Every disappointment was documentation. Every betrayal was justification. Heaven recorded it all, not for pity, but for positioning. You were not delayed. You were protected. You were not denied. You were divinely developed. And now, the exchange is almost complete. But here's the mystery. You will feel the blessing before you see it. Your body will respond before your bank account does. Your spirit will rejoice before the manifestation arrives. That is the sign, not the money, but the moment your soul knows it is done. So lift your head. Stay silent. Stay sensitive. What was once withheld is now being handed over. Type "I claim the exchange" in the comments if you can feel this transfer in your spirit. Blessing code 7272 has now sealed your scroll in motion. Let this be declared now in the realm of the spirit. Justice is moving on your behalf. And not earthly justice. Not the shallow recompense of men. This is heaven's justice, and it doth not sleep. It doth not stutter, and it does not miss. For every year you lost, 7 are being restored. For every door they closed, 7 new ones are being opened. For every tear they caused, joy is returning, multiplying, and matured. The Spirit of the Lord says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." But what you didn't know was that repayment isn't always in judgment. Sometimes it's in promotion. God is not just about punishing your enemies. He's about proving himself through your elevation. This blessing that Archangel Michael carries, this scroll that has hovered and hovered, it is both reward and reversal. Reward for your obedience. Reversal for every plot that was formed against you in secret. There are traps being tripped, but not by you. Those who dug the pit for your fall are now falling into their own snares. Do you not see it? The silence of God was never abandonment. It was setup. Strategic silence. The kind of silence that makes your enemies believe they've succeeded. But now, reversal is being activated in the very soil where they cursed you. And heaven is moving swiftly. The scales are being balanced. The books are being corrected. The wrongs are being reversed. This is not a restoration of the same. It's a 7-fold return of the greater. What was taken from you in darkness will be returned in blazing light. And not quietly, publicly. God is not just healing you behind the scenes. He is preparing a table for you in front of those who spoke death over your dreams. And they will not be able to look away. They will not be able to explain it. They will not be able to deny that the hand of the Lord, the right hand of righteousness, has lifted you. This is spiritual justice. This is divine reversal. This is the manifestation of Proverbs 6:31, which says, "If the thief is caught, he must repay 7-fold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house." And the thief has been caught. The enemy thought if he stole your time, your energy, your reputation, your peace, that you'd fold, that you'd settle, that you'd curse God and walk away. But you didn't. You stood still. You kept quiet. You trusted in the silence. And now, heaven responds with a roar. Just a sealed, oil-drenched, heaven-sent scroll that restores everything and multiplies the rest. It's not just what you lost that's coming back. It's everything you didn't know you had rights to. Favor you forgot. Inheritance you weren't even told about. Opportunities that were buried. Gifts that were shelved. It's all coming to the surface now. And here's what's remarkable. You won't have to chase it. The blessing is coming to find you. The reversal will knock at your door. The justice will locate your name, not because of who you know, but because of what heaven wrote. Even now, heaven's court is handing down its final ruling. And you, beloved, are on the winning side. You are not just free, you are compensated. You are not just vindicated, you are elevated. And your enemies will watch it all unfold with open mouths and silenced hearts. Because when God restores, He doesn't whisper, He announces. Type "I receive justice and restoration" in the comments if your reversal season has begun. Blessing code 8181 is opening the floodgates of recompense over your life. The moment is now. The Spirit's countdown is nearly complete. The final 2 minutes are not symbolic. They are spiritual. And while you've been scrolling, weeping, discerning, doubting, and realigning, heaven has been watching. Archangel Michael has not left. He still stands. He still holds the scroll, the one marked with your obedience, your warfare, your private surrender, your name. But the weight in the Spirit is shifting. The clock has always struck. The final call is being released, and with it, the last chance to claim what was sealed for you from the foundations of the earth. This blessing, this $1 million scroll, is not paper. It is promise. It is more than manifestation. It is multiplication. It is heaven's way of saying, I saw it all. I heard it all. And now I am answering it all. Not with crumbs, not with sympathy, but with full, abundant, irreversible release. You were never forsaken. You were being positioned. That strange pressure on your life. It was not failure, it was favor in disguise. The silence that made you feel invisible. It was the final test of faith. And now, you've passed. You passed by not quitting. You passed by praising when you were in pain. You passed by choosing silence instead of revenge. You passed by trusting God instead of chasing man. And because of that, the scroll has been released. In the spirit realm, your name has now been called aloud. What was once hovering is now descending. What was once questioned is now confirmed. The blessing you feared might pass you by is now attached to your movement. From this day forward, you will never again be mistaken for someone who missed their moment. You are now marked as one who discerned, obeyed, and opened the door in the final 2 minutes. Let this be your confirmation. Heaven has seen your yes. Heaven has accepted your alignment. Heaven has loosed what was held. And now, as the angel descends and the scroll is placed into your spiritual hands, I declare this over you. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Walk forward with clarity. Move in divine confidence. Steward this blessing with holiness. For what has been released to you today is not only money, not only favor. It is inheritance, legacy, and spiritual authority. Your life will never be the same again. Type "I am sealed for destiny" in the comments if you've received this word in your spirit. Blessing code 9999 is now completed over your life. If this word shook something inside you, if your spirit stirred and your tears flowed, then know this: you were not just meant to receive. You were chosen to respond. This is your moment to help others feel what you just felt. Because this word isn't just for you. It's for nations, for the broken, for the weary, and for the overlooked. Every super thanks, every YouTube membership, and every PayPal seed turns you into a divine messenger, carrying this prophetic flame further. You're not just giving, you're igniting revival. You're not just supporting a video, you're fueling angelic reach. The Lord declares in 2 Corinthians 9:10, "Now he who supplies seed to the sower will also supply and increase your store of seed and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness." When you give, you become a part of the prophetic delivery chain. I heard the Spirit whisper, "Honor this word, and I will honor your house." Sow into my voice, and I will multiply your windows. Click Super Thanks. Join membership. Or give boldly via the PayPal link in the description. This is not a time to hesitate. This is the moment to say, "Here I am, Lord. Use me too."